Okay, so I've had several people ask me about how I do some of my sponging techniques, and I know a lot of people who are looking to get into painting lures and things don't always want to drop lots of money on airbrushes and air compressors and everything. So this is a good way to kind of see if you want to do it. You can do this on any lure. You can do any kind of patterns. Just get some cheap acrylic paint and some foam, or not foam, but sponges. Get some sea sponges and just give it a go. One thing that I am going to do, I am going to base coat this blank here in black so that all the details around the shell and the legs and everything stay really good and dark for the detail. And we'll get started on that and start the sponging. So if you noticed, I base coated the blanks black, and then I went over it with a hair dryer, dried it really well, and then done a second coat, hit it with a hair dryer just to give that little bit of added protection. And as you can see, the black that I use is fairly flat. I really like the outcome of it, especially when it gets dipped in KBS. So here are some of the colors I'm going to be going with. We're going with more of a yellow theme this time. So we have the Createx Iridescent, that is 5503 yellow. We have the Createx Pearlized 5306 pearl copper. We have the Createx Wicked color. Oh man, 0011 Wicked golden yellow. And then we have again the Wicked colors by Createx 0069 Wicked detail burnt umber. If you buy any detail colors, please make sure to get burnt umber. I don't know why, but it just seriously enhances other colors. It just does awesome, especially with yellow and reds. It does amazing things to like these colors. Even if you thin it down, do a light coat, spraying over something, give it that little bit of oomph. It looks really good. Okay, so we're just using a paper plate. We're going to put the paint down here. As you can see, are some well-used sponges. I've ripped them to give them that ripped, not squared edge effect. So like sometimes, like right here, the paint's kind of dry. I'll rip it off. This edge feels rough. I'm going to tear it. And that right there. Okay, so now we got some clean sponges. I think I'm going to probably start with the Wicked golden yellow, and don't need a whole lot. We're just getting started, so try to make sure not to get in those little details. Try to just avoid it. Load it up and just start. And don't worry if you don't get full coverage. You don't want full coverage on everything. You want some detail in it. Crayfish have that weird detail in their exoskeleton. It's got that calcium buildup, and the collars are coming through. And you see like that? Don't worry about that. Just keep going. Use that corner. If you've ripped it off, try to use that smaller piece to get in between. I'm not getting the best angles here. I'm sorry. Let me try to maneuver around. load up. I'd like to dab, try to get some of it, because this I've had to thin down quite a bit. I've had it for a while. It started to dry up a little bit on me. And again, if you get some in those little details where you want to keep it black, it's not the end of the world. Just keep going. Don't give up. Keep trying. We're going to try to get some good full coverage on this blank. I like it. I like the yellow sticking out. Then we get it under the light. We'll move on to the second one. Do the same thing. Nothing different. Load up. Get some of that extra off of there and just keep going. Work your way around the bait. Now, as I was saying earlier, you can use this on any blank. I've even done some shad patterns actually this way. You can use a loofah. Go to the dollar store, buy a loofah like you'd shower with, and cut it down. That's where these come in really handy. Go to a craft store, Walmart's, they all seem to have it. Get you a loofah and put it on here. Give you some good scale patterns. And as you're putting it over the blank, if you're putting it over the blank, holding really steady, you can actually use the sponge to go over it and add more detail. And it looks really cool. It's a technique not a lot of people do. I'm not really sure as to why. I think it looks awesome. So I'm trying to take this little sharp point right here, and I'm going to try to go over, if I can, the little legs right in here. Try to get some color on them. It doesn't have to be perfect. The fish you're catching aren't perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And that's the way I like to actually keep that in mind. So just trying to keep this quick. I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and use my hair dryer on these, so might be a little loud, and I apologize. Okay, I apologize for that, but it makes it go by so much quicker. And as you can see, these little like pockets of color, man, that's really what you want, because as we start to go over this, those will come out and look awesome. I know it probably really doesn't right now, but it will. Trust me, this is awesome. All right, so we're going to go to the pearlized copper. We're going to do the exact same thing. Sorry, I got a chest mount in them. I was shaking you guys up. As you can see, that paint is so much thicker. And this is a pearl color. Again, we're just dabbing it on there. Just enhancing that yellow, adding some flair with that pearl. Remember, try to get all areas. Sometimes you miss some, and it's all right. You know, I'll try to fold up the sponge and make a smaller surface area. Try to hit those little legs right there. Go over the claw. Alright, we'll move on to the next. Be sure to dab some of that extra off there. It's funny that the first time I saw somebody do this, I thought that was one of the coolest things. I fell in love with the idea of it, loved the way it looked, and I went out and tried it, and I got really disappointed because when I saw it, I just thought, man, that's not how I wanted that to look. I got really frustrated, and I told myself, you know what, I'm going to keep going, and we're just going to give this a go. Forget it. You know, one of the best things to remember too is if you're doing this is just acrylic paint. If you get somewhere you don't like it, or it's something you didn't want, or you know, you can easily clean up a lot of things, especially if you're airbrushing. Q-tip can be one of your best friends. Dab it in a little bit of water. And if you've got, you know, some spots that you didn't want, just barely touch it and roll. As you can see here, you know, I screwed up on this orange and just barely got it cleaned up. And if you don't like it and you want to start over, go wash the entire bait in warm water. That acrylic paint will roll right off there, and it shouldn't be hard to fix up and clean up at all. So this is one of my best techniques. I really like it. I think it gives some really cool depth. Now you can continue with the sponges if you have more yellows or variations, or mix your own. You know, try to get those different colors to give detail. I am going to be switching back over to the airbrush to go in with this iridescent yellow to try to brighten some little spots up. And then I'm going to hit it with the Detail Wicked Burnt Umber. Okay, so as you can see, going over it with that iridescent really gives it a gold, very shiny look. But as you can see, where we use the sponge, man, it leaves a lot of really cool detail. And when it's clear coated, it really pulls that detail out. It's really interesting. So I'm going to clean out my airbrush. We're going to switch over to the Detail Burnt Umber, and we're going to go from there. Okay guys, if you can see that, man, that looks just spectacular. That turned out really cool. As you can see all the little variations here that we done with the sponges, it looks great. I'm kind of debating on whether to do maybe some more little detail with this awesome Anarchy stencil. I believe it's one of their creature features, number 9. Really recommend their products. They're really awesome. They work really great. That's mostly it, guys. I'm going to kind of leave the video there, and I'll put some pictures of the final product at the end. But I wanted you guys to see, you know, if you don't have the airbrush, get a rattle can. Give it a try. You know, if you're thinking about getting into it, don't let that stop you. Try. There's other ways to do things. You know, just get out there and try something. And if you don't want to paint lures, then please, by all means, get out and go fish. Take a kid with you. Make sure they learn how to fish and conservation and what we are trying to protect. And, yeah. Peace out.